Right. So, hello everyone, and welcome to another uh, class for GameNet. So, hopefully you guys have started, or at least finished. Finished? Is it today? Yeah. Finished yung module 1. So, fairly simple man yung module 1. It's just like creating lang yung host, client, whatnot. Right? Very basic. So today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about um, spawning things. We're gonna talk about um, creating child classes for Network Manager. So you want to do that in case you want a different kind of thing to happen, like whenever. Because if you use the normal one, you can't really access the the functions of it, which you can override, like when the player who joins the server or when the server adds a prefab of the player, etc. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about um, creating a room. So what we've created so far is just that when you press host, no, you jump into the game right away. But with the room, you could have like a place where players can choose to ready, or maybe you can have them change their name there. Um, and then when you start the game, the changes will appear on the actual game, right? Uh, not much, not much games do that, no. Because sometimes it's Steam, you meet when you create a game through Steam, it immediately gets the name of the count the player, right? But here, we'll try to set up a play the name, and then set up the room. Then when everyone is ready, you can start. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Yep, it's recording. Okay, so first, spawning. Spawning objects. So I've when you start the game, right, you immediately spawn in a prefab of the player. But if you,
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
Uh, if you're sharing a different screen, we don't see it. We only see the Discord layout.
yep, yeah, I'm not just sharing the the screen.
Sorry, excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm just trying to uh discuss some of what we've thought. No, because before when you start the wait lang, let me just double check if everything's right. Yeah, and here when you start the game, when you host, immediately the prefab of the player is there. Oops. But if you want to spawn something, you have to do a different kind of code. So let me just show what happens if you try to spawn normally. Let me just put the host, start host, and start client. And then parallel sync. Right. So, oops, player prefab. Sorry, I had to, I deleted the old one. Network manager. And then prefab. Okay, so this is our old. This is what we've been working on. So let's try to spawn a an object. So we have a serialized field, game object. Let's say ball prefab. And then when we press, what's the next one? Left click. If input dot get mouse down 0, let's instantiate the prefab. Where probably this that transform that position plus let's spawn it above, maybe 2.0. And then identity. Okay, we're just gonna spawn it above. Then let's go ahead and spawn. Let's go create a prefab of that ball prefab, and then
Close in the dark.
okay, rigid body. Let's give it some rigid body. Let's give it some uh rigid body to the network. Oh, sige, wag muna eh. Wag muna ito. Let's say rigid body lang. And then, oh wait, let's give it a sprite. Sprite render. Let's give it a circle collider. Sprite. Let's use the knob. Let us make the radius maybe tad bits. Oh no, sige. Laki natin. 0.5. Sprite. Sprite render. Knob. Let's remove this one. Just so I can scale this. It's up 5. There. Okay, so here's our ball prefab. I'll just put it here. And then in the player, let's put in the ball prefab. All right. Let's still open it. Okay, so while that's opening, oh, it's open now. See, let me just double check. Right. So if I press left click, it is spawning on top. If I join here, you'll notice that it is not spawning on the server, nor if I were working on the server, it's not spawning on the client. So sure, we can have like a command, but this is gonna probably mess some things up. So command, let's say void cmd spawn ball, and then client rpc void rpc spawn ball. And then rpc spawn ball, and we call this inside this. So let's try that out. Post join. So this is working correctly, no? The thing is, there's a chance that you see here, things are not syncing properly. On my left, uh, the ball is up here, but here on my right, it's a bit far. No? So they're not syncing properly. Sure, we could have. I mean, sige. Because of that, maybe we want to give it a identity. So let's try to give it a identity. So what identity are we talking about? Just like our player, where we have a network identity and a network rigid body 2D. Maybe let's try to give that also here. Network identity and network rigid body reliable. All right, so let's try that. Host, join, maximize. As you can see, things are still not syncing properly. Sure, we have given them an identity, but they're not. It's still not working properly. And what will happen if this happens? There's a chance that, let's say you have a first-person shooter, there's a bullets, whatever. There's a chance that bullets are not working as intended in the client and compare it to the server. Or maybe we have, let's say, peek. Peek, you throw a banana peel or you throw an object. There's a chance that in the client it is happening and it's thrown somewhere else. In a server, it's thrown somewhere else. And we're just talking about two clients here. What if you have multiple clients? Then everything will be kind of crazy. No. So how do we properly spawn things? In order for us to spawn an object, instead of using just the instantiate, we use a different code, which is network server dot spawn. So what it does, it spawns an object and also assigns client authority, etc. So where would you want to do this? For this one, you only want it to run on in the server. You don't want to run this on the client. Yeah. So instead here, we remove the RPC. We do spawn, and then what is it asking for? A game object. So if you try to do just a ball prefab, it's gonna give you an error. The error will be the object should be instantiated first. Yeah, I'll just show you para we're aligned here. Here, left click, there. You have to instantiate it first. Okay, so game object is equal to instantiate prefab, and then just use the same thing here. Okay, and then ouch. If we try to do this though, something will happen which is a bit weird. If I press play, host, join, maximize. Okay, if I press left click, it is just floating. The reason why it's floating is because it doesn't know exactly how. Oh wait, here. Failed to spawn server object. Did you forget to add it in the NetworkManager? Okay, so it doesn't know. It doesn't know what that ball prefab is. In order for the server to know, In here, Network Manager, if you scroll down, registered spawnable prefab. So you can go here, left click, we include the wall prefab. So there's a wall prefab. Now let's try that out again. Save, load, play, maximize, host, join. If I press left click, again, it is just floating. The reason why it's floating, it doesn't have, sure, it has a network identity, but it doesn't have who authorizes it. Wala dito. Right now, it's just blank. They don't know who owns this. Who should be, on whose client should it be trying to replicate. So if you see spawn, there is another there are other overridable. You have spawn for the owner player, network client, network connection to client, and asset ID, etc. For now, we can use just this one, network connection to client. And this is as simple as just connection to client. So this variable is immediately the network connection to client. So if on the client you call this, malaman naman agad dito kung sino yun. Alright, so let's try that out again. Play, host, join, maximize. Left click. It should now be the same. Everything is now aligned. They're almost the same positions. Or maybe they are completely the same position. Alright? So that's how you spawn. So where can we use this? As I said, you can use it when you try to spawn things. Whether it be like an item, a bullet, or those cases. No? If you need to have it completely the same as in all clients, like the position and whatnot has to be the same in all clients, you have to do this. However, if you're just gonna spawn, let's say a particle effect, no, some explosion, whatnot, sure, you can choose not to. You can choose not to add it in the network manager. All right, like maybe you just wanted to have a explosion in this position. You don't have to do this anymore. Okay, it's only if you have to. You need to make it have this. It has a network identity. It has a position, and whatnot. All right. Questions? Clarification for this? Or would you like another? Do you have another example that you want to use? None. No questions? Okay. So with that, we can also have like we can give it some velocity if you want. So in case you have a first-person shooter and if you shoot a rocket, you want to have a velocity right away. You can go option that, get component, rigid body b, that velocity. And then for now, I'll just make it a random. What do we have? Random value times. That's again. Random value, random value. That normalize times that. So all I have here is just a random value. I normalize it so that just so it doesn't be like a square, it's more of like a circle, and then times that. Let's play. Oops, join. And you'll see. Oh, there's no negative because it's only 0 to 1. Yeah. I mean, I can go like they have it random. I can go like math F, F, math F. That do I have here random? I already forgot how to do random. So you get my point. Okay. If you give it a velocity right away, pwede. It's gonna work. And it's gonna replicate properly on on everyone. So all you have to do is network server dot spawn object. Now, in case you want to, let's say, uh, you don't want to manually register here. There's also such thing as network server dot register. Uh, really? Register. Spawn. Hold on. I guess it's not here. Add connection. No. But anyway, there is also a way in case you don't want, in case like you have a object that you create dynamically, and you want it to to spawn for everyone. No, there's a way. All you have to do is to register it first, and then you can spawn it. Now, the code for that, though, if we go this one, mirror, mirror networking box, spawn. Network client. Network client. Right. Yeah. So in case you have a object that's created runtime or dynamic, and you want it to work for everyone, you have to do this first. Network client. You have network client that register prefab, and then you have to make your own prefab. Let's say let's try that one. Let's create a new prefab game object. If we go to new game object, new object, and then new object that add component. What's a good component? Sprite render, and then also add component. Box collider to be right. Then you need to do this GUID for new ID. Extend that GUID. It's equal to system.uid.new GUID, and then network client dot uh ah no wait client ID is equal to network identity asset GUID GUID, and then we have our new object. Right? So here's our new object, and then same thing. Server dot spawn new object. So when will you use this? Yeah, in case you want something that's on, let's say, a user created a new object that is quite unique. It depends on the game. No, let's say maybe Mexico, maybe Call of Duty, kaya, where you have different attachments for your weapon. I don't know, in case you want to do that. So let's try that out. Let's do this. Where do I want to do this? I want to do this here. I feel like it's going to be game object. New prefab. Right, and then prefab. Let's see if that works. So not always you're going to use this. No network identity. Yeah. New prefab. Add component network identity. Post. It's on the left click. Will we create it? New game object. So would it work for also the client? Let's play. Join. New game object. So it's right here. All right. That's how you register. So again, it's not going to work for everyone. Maybe for you, you don't have to create a new game object. This one, hindi na niya, no? Because you're supposed to do this on command. But you get my point. All right. So questions for creating or spawning objects. None. Okay. Sige. Next, I forgot what to teach. Sync var. So if you normally code no stuff, let's say if a ball hits let's say a bullet hits the player, and then it should deal damage, no, to the player. And normally what we would do is tell it to the server tells it to everyone. So we have a command and an RPC. What if I told you could skip the RPC part where it actually syncs normally for everyone? So let's try that out. Let's give this a code to minus, let's say, the health of the player. And here, let's just give it a health component. Let's say int health and max health. Let's give it a system serializable field for both. And then, of course, the usual public void on take damage int value health minus equals value if health is less than 0, health is equal to 0. Then of course if you had like Unity action or events, you'll put it there also. Let's make it to 100. And then max health. Okay, take damage. And then let's give the ball if it hits the player, you take damage. Strip. Ball. Just call it ball. And then on collision, enter 2D. If collision dot collider dot game object collider dot get component health component. Can I do this? Health component. Yeah. If health. Meaning if a health component exists. Health dot take damage, let's say 10. And then destroy. Network behavior. This is different here. Network server. What is that? Network server B spawn. Unspawn. This. Does this work? Yeah, we'll see. And then we put that on our ball. So what I did is I just have a health component. I have a ball script. If this ball hits a health, a object that has a health component, you take 10 damage. And then if not, then whatever. And then unspawn. So let's test that out. Okay. So it's unspawning. Now it's a matter of hitting something. So let's go create. Ooh. can only serve while active. Clients can only ask server to destroy. Yeah. Basically, command. And then private, void, cmd, unspawn. Cmd unspawn. Oh, the right one. The server is not picking up a random. Sanctuary, velocity, random. Huh. Get component, rigid body. Huh. CMD, spawn on server, velocity. Do I have to spawn it here? Full thing. Well, here. Try what let's fix that first. So this is working on the server, but if the client tries it, it doesn't work. What we can try to spawn it in here first. And then we put the game object. Game object. Post. Join. Attempt to serialize on spawn object. Prefab on spawn. Always be on both sides. Please spawn it before using it. Prefabs and unspawn object will always be not on the other side. You know what? This part may have to be a RPC. It seems like it. Yeah. I think this has to be RPC. Why do you have to be RPC? Can I do that? Client. Game object. Oh no, let's make it rigid body. Rigid body 2D. Then RPC spawn. Doesn't want to take. How about game object? Oh no, this is not also gonna take. Huh? Get component, rigid body. Instead, it's just obj. Will you allow it? No. Null. Data. Yeah. Oh my. So somewhere here. somewhere here is the problem. But you know what? We can deal with that later on. I will debug this later on, but we can go straight to the health component. So it's probably somewhere here is wrong. Kind of right. It's just that this part is not working for the client. So I will debug that later on. But let's try to continue. So right now, what we're trying to do is try to hit the ball. There, the ball has hit the player here. If we check the value, which one's the first one? Health is 90 here. In here, what is your value? 90. It should be 90 also. Wait, no. 2D. 100. So medyo hindi nag-sync. On the server, 90 yung health ng player, but on the client, it is still 100 here. Based on our code, all we said was if the ball hits, take damage. Now this code here, on collision entity, it seems like it's working. It's just that it wasn't able to call the take damage on the client server, on the client side. So how do we try to sync it? We could have a command again. Command. I think we could have a command here, like command, and then we should make this network behavior back. Network behavior. Command public void cmd take damage and value. Which is just take damage. Oh wait, command first and then RPC. Client RPC void RPC take damage in value. Then it's take damage. Or you know what, I'll just copy this. And then in here, RPC take damage. Okay, so we can have this. And then in ball, instead of just take damage, we do the CMD take damage. Play. Let's try to get it to hit something again. Maximize. Oops, not that one. This one. Maximize host. Join. Let's put it. Okay. Called on player without authority. Ayun nga. You are not authorized. Call the health command from another player, because this thing is on another player object. So in that case, we have to do a command. You see how medyo tasking to. Void. What do you do? Void. Okay. What is this? The health component? Yeah. Health component. And then we have component dot take CMD, take damage. Right. It's the CMD. Hit. Health. So dami natin ginagawa dito. It has no authority because it was from another game object. Hence it should not allow it. So instead, let's try to do it on the server. Maximize, join. Let's try that again. Did it hit? Did you hit? Oh, it hit the floor. Nope. Okay. So we're having an authority problem here because of how things work here. Ball is not on the server, it's on ball is on the server. Problem is it is trying to get the take damage here. So okay, not take damage. This one's wrong. Let's just take damage. We don't need to do command here. Really? No, I need to do RPC. I have to do RPC in here also. Oh, good. Client RPC. Void RPC on hit. No, it's not going to get. Obj. Get component, health component, take damage 10. This is RPC on hit. Change this to game object. Oops. Okay. Post. Join. Let's go spawn a ball. Okay. All right. We check here. That didn't even work. Why didn't you? Okay. CMD on hit. RPC on hit. Again. Spawn a ball. That should have definitely hit. What are you? 170. Yeah. Things are not syncing up still. I have hit him here on the server. Client, it minused it, but on the server, ayaw naman. So a simple thing that you can try to do is using syncvar. Syncvar automatically syncs everything from the server to the client. So we don't have to get a headache on all of this. Right? So what are we going to sync for? We're going to sync for the health here. I should do this. Sync. So health is now being synced. So instead of doing it on RPC, right here, I'll do this. Get component, health component, then take damage. Okay. So we're only calling it on the server. We said on the server minus the health of the player. If I what's happening here? Here hit if I hit there 70. 70 is on the server. And how are we doing on the client? 70 as well. Okay. So that way you don't have to get all the headache of all this. No. Right now I do have a problem here. I think it was on itself. Anyway, we're at 0 already. Here. Nope. Baka luma lang yun. Okay? So sync var. Sync var automatically syncs things. 90 here, it should also be 90 here. So you do this. Sync var only has like a limited amount of data types that you can use. Int, float, not everything can be sync var, if I recall. You can't sync var like yung mga ginagamit mo na classes. So we only use that only for the old data types, right? So we can also do that in anything else. Maybe also max health if you want, but up to you. Yeah, this is mali pala. Tama dito. On the ball, go call on the server. The server hit the health component. Okay, questions? Clarification? None? Yeah, basta use sync mo when you want to sync things easily. Sige. Last one will be rooms. Now, like I said a while ago, when you start the game, you're immediately brought to the game. What if you want to have a room where everyone is ready, or you want that you can change the name of the players? Oh, you know what? Maybe next time. I think it's a lengthy one. Yeah, next time lang yun. Ang gawin na natin, ito na lang. Kasi this is more usable for you guys instead of the rooms. Right now, when you play the game, or when you have a multiplayer right now, with all the things you have, technically dapat parehas yung controls nyo. Right? Or what if you wanted to have different controls? What if you wanted something to happen when a player joins? Let's say a message appears on the side that something has joined the game, right? How do we add that? How do we have that kind of functionality? So I've taught you guys about Network Manager. The thing is, within Network Manager, you can override functions and other things so that you can have a more customized thing to happen. Yun nga, like let's say lalabas dun sa side may bag player, or maybe you want different controls, or you want something else to be shown for each player, or not. Maybe you want some log, some like you want to find out who has joined the game and whatnot. In order for you to do that, you need to have a custom network manager. How do you do that? In here, in assets, create, mirror, network manager. When you press this, it creates a new script. In this case, I'll call it the demo network manager. And if you access it, it's all this. You have a singleton, you have Unity callbacks in case you want some Unity stuff, or you want a server. You have on server connect, on server ready, add player, on disconnect, or you want it on the client, on client connect, on client disconnect. So it depends on what you want to happen. In this case, let's say on server connect. What do you want to happen when this happens? Let's say I want a log. Debug that log. I want to show that this person with this address has connected. So let's do that. So has connected. Okay. Then of course we have to change this network manager. We have to change it to demo network manager. Remember to put in here all the things that we need. Transport is this. Game object is this. Let's put the ball in fact. Okay. We will play maximize. When I press host, I have to sync. I have to put this back in again. Sorry. Network manager, start, host, network manager, start, play. Did I change properly? Yes. Yeah. If I press host, localhost has connected. If I join, colon 1 has connected. So that's address. Well, maybe you want something else. Maybe not address. Maybe you want connection ID. Because right now we don't really have names. Okay, so host 0 has connected, join 30390 whatever has connected. So there's that. Now what if I want when the player joins another control happens? In that case, you would have like a separate script for that. So right now we have because I player controller. But if I want, this will be second player controller. So yun, I'm just gonna put here on start debug.log second player has been activated. Second player controller has been activated. What you want to do if this happens where you want a different control for a player, you have to disable both. Disable both. And what happens here on our demo network, we have to enable the one that you want to work on. So let's say on server add player, this one. Let's say let's say anyone but the first player will have the different control. We have an account of 0. If count is equal to 0, con dot identity. This is a network identity. So it's a main game object. Dot get component player controller. So we're getting the player controller and we enable it. Else, if you're not the first player, con dot identity dot get component second player controller dot enable is equal to true, and then count plus plus. So this happens when they add the player. So here's our host. I join. Oh, hold on. My bad. I have to enable it pala. On server, you have RPC. Client RPC void enable second. This is game object on dot obj dot get component second player controller true. Now you can have a target client RPC, that is target RPC. If you wanted to a specific client, but let's get it. RPC again, RPC on dot identity dot game object. Oops. RPC must be declared. Hold on. Must be declared. So not client RPC. Not great. It would be. If it would be client RPC public void enable second player. This dot component second player controller dot enable is equal to true. This dot enable is equal to false. RPC. Let's see if that works. Enable. If that's the case, we need to enable the player controller. So it really depends. You could have a script solely for handling that part, or you could have this one where we're kind of like connecting two scripts together. I'd rather choose the former one. Join. Second player has been activated. Okay. So now it's working here. So if I had some controls here, we have like it is local. Oops. Not the behavior. Behavior. If is local play, if it's not local player, return, and then you'll have. Let's just reuse some code here. Para lang mabilis. Here. And then this one, but let's make it times. Yeah. Of course, we need this. I could also have a child class na lang of that one, but here we are, rigid body 2D. Okay. Let me just maximize. Oh, I forgot. I timestamp nga pala. Okay. So there you have it. We have two players that have supposedly two different kinds of controls. It's just that right now I only just made it simple. A simple control now. Okay. Then if I want something else, maybe on disconnect, then you have a debug.log con that con that what did I use? Connection ID. As this connected. And then you can format it. Alright, so we have that. We have a lot of options. And this isn't just for network behavior, a network manager. You could do this also for other things. Right? So if I disconnect here, has disconnected. Alright? So we have those. Questions? Clarification? None? Clear? Oo nga eh. You have to find out. I think I did have a problem. My problem is this. I have to find out later. velocity should have changed also for the RPC, but it did not send that message. So it's somewhere here. Anyway, is this recorded? Yes. Yes, this is recorded naman. Okay. Any more questions? So next week na lang yun, no? Yung room. Room is is very easy naman. It's creating the UI, it just takes time. Right? No questions? Sige. If there are no questions, yeah, that's it for today. You guys can, I'll upload this later for you to watch in the future if you want. But yeah, hopefully you guys have submitted yung wala pang assignments. Wala pa. Next time na yung assignments. We're just studying mirror for now. Okay? We're just gonna be a bit chill here. Okay? So next week na lang may assignment. Alright? So yeah, if you have more questions, again, you can just freely message me if you have a question while creating your project. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. I'll see you guys again next week. Stay safe, everyone, especially from the flu, no? But yeah, take care, everyone, and I'll see you guys next week.